From Nexus, Volume 2, Number 23, Will Mobile Phones Become Mobile ID Tags? Not many people realize that the technology exists to track a person's whereabouts from their mobile phone handset via certain types of satellite. The next step in our technological evolution from the consumer's point of view is that virtually everyone will have their own personal mobile phone with their own personal mobile ID number. Each of these mobile phone handsets emits a virtually continuous signal, which is picked up by satellite or ground tower and relayed on. It is rumored that most handsets emit this signal even when the power is turned off. It is any big brother's dream come true in terms of knowing where everyone is at any time. It was announced in the United Kingdom newspapers recently that by 1998, mobile phones will go global. Your handset will give you access to a satellite-based system that will allow calls to be made practically anywhere on Earth. Iridium, a consortium of 17 major companies led by Motorola, proposes to launch 66 satellites in orbits crossing both poles, ensuring a satellite will fly over every spot on Earth at least once every 9 minutes. At any one time, at least 3 satellites will be in view, enabling the handset's precise position to be located. Source, The Weekly Telegraph, United Kingdom, number 173, 8 November. Have you heard about the new Digital Angel? Something I've been predicting for years. And actually, they've had it in various forms, but now this is serious. Now they've got this little computer chip thing. It's called a Digital Angel. It was just developed. It was unveiled down in San Diego recently by the company that created this thing. And they can implant it under your skin, or under pet's skin, or under your children's skin, or under a prisoner's skin, or under anybody's skin, and track this person wherever he goes by satellite. And not only that, but they can program this thing to monitor your heartbeat and your respiration and all kinds of things, and report all of this stuff, not just your location, but, you know, what's going on in your body, to a satellite, which then reports it to whoever, I guess, wants to know the information. It's called the Digital Angel. It's on the website. Go read it. Friday, October the 22nd, 1993, the Arizona Republic Business Section. Editor Don Nicholson. Orbital's messaging system gets federal okay. Republic staff and wire services. Dulles, Virginia. Orbital Sciences Corporation, a space-age company with a major manufacturing facility in the Phoenix area, said Thursday that it has received federal approval for its satellite-based messaging system. The go-ahead from the Federal Communications Commission paves the way for final licensing of the ORBCOMM system within the next few months and the start of commercial services in 1994, said Alan Parker, president of Orbital Sciences ORBCOMM unit. Orbital's Space Data Division in Chandler, with about 870 employees, is developing the ground stations through which electronic signals will be transmitted to and from a planned array of 26 ORBCOMM satellites circling the Earth. Orbital Sciences predicts that ORBCOMM systems will be able to send or receive short messages worldwide for only a few cents apiece on pocket-sized communicators priced from about $50 to $400, depending upon their features. Potential uses include mobile communications in emergencies, two-way electronic mail for palm-top computers and remote monitoring of such industrial complexes as offshore oil platforms. Those of you who have brains should be making connections by now. The 1994 target date for starting the messaging service is up to 5 years ahead of multi-billion-dollar voice systems proposed by Motorola Incorporated, L'Oreal Corp., and TRW Corporation, Parker said. Unlike Motorola's project, called Iridium, and those of other potential competitors, ORBCOMM would not handle voice communications. Instead, it would use pager-like devices and pocket computers to send and receive messages that would appear on a screen. Now you should be making even better connections here. In February, Orbital Sciences launched the first experimental Orbcomm satellite aboard its Pegasus winged rocket. The satellite network is planned for low Earth orbit about 400 miles into space to provide global coverage. The big advantage for Orbcomm is cost. While the Iridium system of 66 satellites is expected to cost about $3.4 billion, and TRW's 12-satellite Odyssey system would cost $1.3 billion, Orbital Sciences expects Orbcomm's constellation of small satellites to cost $100 million to $125 million. Also on Thursday, Orbital Sciences announced third quarter net income of $1.16 million on revenues of $48.74 million, up from a net of $1.12 million on revenues of $47.04 million in last year's third quarter. Compiled from reports by Bloomberg Business News and Guy Webster of the Arizona Republic. Now, folks, let me get into the meat of the matter here, because there's a lot of meat. And it really matters, believe me. Orbcomm's global two-way wireless communications service facts. The Global Wireless Communications System is the world's first wireless two-way data and message communications system providing coverage everywhere on Earth. The global system includes 26 microstar satellites circling the Earth in low orbits, one or more gateway Earth stations in each country where services are offered, 4 in the continental United States, and 1 intelligent network control center in each country. Orbcomm uses narrowband, very high frequency, or VHF frequencies between 137 and 150 megahertz. And so that you can gauge this, those of you listening on shortwave are listening on 5.810 megahertz. Commercial service scheduled to begin mid-1994 in the United States. I told you, folks, this would be a pivotal year. Orbcomm communicators are priced from $100 to $400. They're easy to use, small in size, lightweight, and have a very long battery life. Subscribers transmit at 2,400 bauds per second and receive at 4,800 bauds per second, which, according to the latest technology, is slow. Standalone pocket-sized two-way Orbcomm communicators with alphanumeric keypad and viewing screen for messaging. One of the reasons, folks, that it's slow is that that's a way to sell it, but that's not its true purpose. Has a simple pager size, Orbcomm communicators for integration with data collection and monitoring devices on industrial equipment, pipelines, and ocean buoys, and for standalone use as emergencies transmitters. Laptop and palm-top computers and personal digital assistants, or PDAs, equipped with Orbcomm PCMCIA Type 2 cards to provide convenient two-way wireless email capability. Ready communications access everywhere on Earth, on a boat, in a truck or car, hiking or working at a remote job site. Are you beginning to get the picture? Simply send a message from any telephone, fax machine, email, terminal, or another wireless mobile service, or in the opposite direction to another Orbcomm subscriber. Easy retrieval of messages from Orbcomm's central electronic post box or from a remote database. Confirmation of message receipt, built-in low-cost position location. Built-in low-cost position location capability, vital to emergency and tracking applications, and the ability to report GPS and LORAN-C determined positions. Automatic roaming capability anywhere in the United States or the world. Communications in buildings through interconnections with paging and other mobile data systems. The applications meet the needs of millions of customers around the world who have no access to simple, reliable, and low-cost communications, and those who need true seamless communications capability in business or personal activities. Orbcomm data communication services, one-way receive only, and two-way communications between a subscriber's office and remotely located unmanned monitoring equipment, sensors, and activators. Typical applications include cargo tracking, environmental monitoring, animal tracking, animal tracking, animal tracking. Remote monitoring and controlling of pipeline, industrial, and agricultural equipment. Law enforcement, law enforcement, law enforcement. Orbcomm message communication services, two-way communications between standalone Orbcomm communicators or other mobile messaging or computing devices equipped with Orbcomm capability. Typical applications include personal and business messages, search and rescue services, search and rescue services, fleet management communication services, automotive towing services. Orbital Sciences Corporation and its wholly owned subsidiary, Orbital Communications Corporation, or Orbcomm, formed a joint venture with Teleglobe Incorporated to develop, operate, and market the Orbcomm system and services worldwide. Orbital, located in Dulles, Virginia, very close to the Central Intelligence Agency headquarters, is a space technology company that designs, manufactures, operates, and markets a broad range of space products and services. Orbital's 1992 revenues were approximately $175 million. Teleglobe, headquartered in Montreal, Canada, is the world's fifth largest international communications service provider. It provides all international communications services for Canada, except for that with the United States. In 1992, Teleglobe's consolidated revenues were approximately $1,045 million. Orbcomm service capabilities meet the needs of diverse commercial and civil government markets. One of the major capabilities outlined here in the charts are military, vehicle location, intrusion detection, customs and law enforcement, stolen property recovery, boxcars and containers, animal tracking, remote access monitoring, environmental monitoring, search and rescue, which means, folks, they're going to know exactly where you're at. Logistics control of trucks and their cargoes. Are they putting monitoring devices in new vehicles rolling off the assembly lines of major automobile and truck manufacturing plants in this country? That's what it looks like on here, folks. How are they going to use this for search and rescue unless you have something on you that shows them where you are at? Animal tracking. Most people don't understand it. Most people didn't make the connection in biology class in high school when, if they had a good teacher, they were told that human beings are animals. We are part of the animal family. We are mammals. How about that? Make you think a little bit, folks? I hope so. One of the gateways, there are 4 in the United States, is in Washington State. One is in Arizona, and this information came to me from militia intelligence. One is in New York State, and one is in Georgia. And that pretty much says it, folks. That pretty much does it. I have all kinds of charts in this information, all kinds of company information, some confidential stuff. Sometime soon, I expect to visit the Arizona facility.
Well, folks, I think last night may have given some of you a little hope. I pray that that is so. The Miami Herald, final edition, Friday, February 16th, 1996. Orbiting eyes in sky may spy on convicts. Sex offenders would be among felons tracked by new electronic watchdog. How many years have they been telling me that nobody would ever be tracked by a satellite? Here it is, right here, right now. They have the technology. They're putting it out to the prisons. Prisoners will be the first ones implanted or hung with a device where they will be tracked for 24 hours a day, every day, by satellite. And someday, they will have the capacity to monitor everybody on this earth in some manner, most likely by satellite.
Well, we saw the MasterCard Master Chip come into play this week, the new microcircuit card that MasterCard is using. And that's interesting because it accompanied the announcement of the INS getting $72 million in their budget to do a database for supposedly to detect illegal aliens, but they're going to make it available to all employers to check their employees with, which means they're going to be checking for Social Security numbers, and if you don't have one, you can't work.
From what I understand, they're going to institute the card, so to speak, amongst certain age groups to begin with, and what they're going to justify this with is to stop the illegal immigration into this country.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. They're saying it's for our own good because we have so many illegal aliens and they're taking Americans' jobs. So they're going to use this as a way to screen all of us, not just illegal aliens, but all of us. And if you don't have a Social Security number, you won't work. Now then, on the younger end of the scale, we've got them making mandatory, the inoculations mandatory. And we had a caller into the program this afternoon that said a nurse in our city, Indianapolis, had said they were now putting chips in children, babies, when they were born, if the parents wanted them. Now, it's already gone that far.
Well, I can see how they would justify something like that to people who didn't know better.
Well, they were using these originally. They planted these chips in dogs. Now, all the humane societies are putting these chips in dogs, and they're telling people it makes it easy to identify the dog and to find a lost dog. But I found an article in Maine where the police were saying this is the best police enforcement tool they'd ever had for going after the owners of stray dogs and charging them with offenses of leaving their dogs loose.
Oh my God, no pooper spooper.
Another way to get a tax, another tax collection mechanism. That's what it's become.
That's correct.
Well, I love animals and I love dogs, but I'm not quite ready to give up my rights so that we can find Fluffy.
Exactly. Or find Billy. Because what good is an ID chip in a child? I mean, let's don't even talk the constitutional aspects of it. Why would you want a chip put in your child that could come loose, float to the child's heart, kill him instantly, is only good if they find the child dead somewhere for identification purposes, and has all sorts of potential health complications. Why would you want that?
That's right. Health complications is right. You actually could get attached to this health plan through that kind of a thing.
That's another thing.